Welcome back, guys. I hope you all are doing great. Okay, then. Today, our topic is fathers in forensic science. Okay, so it is also a very important topic because you may get the direct questions or even indirect questions in this topic. That is, who is the father of toxicology or who is the father of ballistics, like that, you will get the questions. Okay, then. The first thing, father of toxicology is Matthew Joseph Bonaventure or Fila. So, what is toxicology first of all? Forensic toxicology is a specialized field which analyzes the biological samples and identify them like drugs, poisons, and any other chemicals in our body. Okay, so it will also help us to identify what is the cause of death and what are the toxins present inside a body or tissue or blood, like that. Okay, so the father of toxicology is Matthew Joseph Bonaventure or Fila. Then, father of criminal identification system is Alphonse Bertillon. So, Alphonse Bertillon's criminal identification system is a early forensic method. It's a age-old method where it is combined by the systematic measurement of unique body parts with photographs to create a record for identifying the suspects and repeat offenders, which means this will include the measurement of a person, like the measurement of his head or body or arm, and measurement of the length of the middle finger. Like they'll keep the unique body measurements which will help us to identify the criminal identification. Okay, if the same criminal have committed the crime for two times, then the first time whenever the police caught the criminals, what they will do is they will just make a note of it under the criminal identification system. And then again, if the same person commits the crime, then what they will use is they will identify the criminal based on the records which they have earlier noted down. Okay, this will be very helpful in the police investigation when they are catching the criminals. Okay, that is known as father of criminal identification system. It will also include the photographs also of the criminals to identify them. Then, father of ballistics is Kelvin Goddard. Ballistics. Ballistics is a study of firearms, ammunition, and projectiles, which will solve the crime cases which involves the bullets or shootings, like that. Okay, so the evidences which will be found under the ballistics will be bullets, pellets, and etc., which are related to firearms thing. Okay, so the father of ballistics is Kelvin Goddard. Then, father of questioned documents is Albert Osborne. Question documents, it is a document where it is a dispute over its authenticity, origin, or integrity. Okay, this will be usually involving about the documents which involves typewritten paperworks or ink paperworks, like that. Okay, and it can include the crime cases such as forgery with signatures and duplicate documents of any land disputes or anything like that. Okay, so this includes the father of question documents is Albert Osborne. Then father of blood grouping is Karl Landsteiner. So for usually in forensic, the blood grouping is used to categorize the blood found at the crime scene. So the right, blood is the most in most of the cases, blood is the most common evidence found. So whenever they're collecting the blood with the help of cotton swabs and again drying under the shade and then preserving it, then forwarding into the crime scene, laboratories. So what will they do with the blood means, first of all they'll categorize what is the blood type, and then they'll extract DNA from it. Okay, then they'll match with the suspect's blood or suspect's DNA, like that. Okay, fine. That is father of blood grouping is Karl Steiner. Then, father of modern forensic is Edmund Locard. Edmund Locard, okay? So, what is modern forensic science means? Which uses the advanced scientific techniques like DNA analysis or mass spectrometry or 3D computing imaging to provide objective evidence for criminal and civil justice. Okay, that all comes under the modern forensic science. The father of modern forensic science is Edmund Locard. So once again we'll come across this, you have to remember these are the very important fathers in forensic science. Father of toxicology, Matthew Joseph Bonaventure Orfila. Father of criminal identification system, Alphonsus Bertillon. Father of ballistics, Calvin Goddard. Father of questioned documents, Albert Osborne. Father of blood grouping, Karl Steiner. Father of modern forensic science, Edmund Locard. Okay? Now next topic is scope of forensic science. So, scope of forensic science. So, literally, we have so many divisions under forensic science. Where if you are trying to pursue, if you are trying to pursue forensic, we have so many divisions under which we can just separate our interest and go into it. Okay, so we'll learn about how many there scopes of forensic science are there. What are the divisions under there? The first foremost is fingerprints. Whenever you are thinking about any kind of CID, you will just come across the series, right? So the most important thing will be to distinguish between a person to person or to identify a person from suspects list. The most important thing will be matching of the fingerprints found near the crime scene and with the suspect person. So fingerprints is just a separate branch we have under the forensics which will just work on the fingerprints. Okay, because fingerprints are unique to each and every person. Even for the twins, the fingerprint patterns will be different. Okay, so it is a individuality character as it has a individuality character and a uniqueness character. So fingerprints is the first scope of forensic science. Then question to documents. Just now we came across what is question documents means, which involves the paperwork, ink, paper typed, written paperwork, those all things. So that will all come under the question documents, document examination. Then forensic chemistry. So forensic chemistry means which applies the principle of analytic chemistry. Okay, for example, forensic chemist will identify the substances such as drugs or poisons or trace materials like glass, paint or fibers or gunshot residues. These all will be analyzed and with the specialized instruments and techniques, right? So that comes under forensic chemistry. Then forensic biology. Forensic biology, which applies the biological principles to investigate the crimes. Like biological materials such as blood or DNA and other tissues found at the crime scene, that all comes under forensic biology. So this field can use the techniques such as DNA profiling, which can link to the and evidence found at the crime scene to the suspects. Then forensic anthropology. Forensic anthropology means it is the application of anthropological knowledge and techniques for the legal matters. Means it is usually based on the identification of human remains like skulls, bones, with the help of anthropology, with the help of the skeletal remains which we found in skeletal remains, we can determine we can identify the sex, age of the skull and of the skeleton. Okay, and sometimes we can even um, know the race of the skeleton also, it seems. Okay, then forensic odontology. Forensic odontology is also known as forensic dentistry. It means it's the application of dental sciences for the to identify the human remains or access age and investigate bite marks in criminals and civil cases. So odontology can be used for the for the human remains also. Like if you have ever found a skull, with the help of the teeth the position of the teeth, the number of teeth. Also, you can just identify the age of the skull or the human remains. And even sometimes it is useful for the bite mark analysis. So as I said you, so when you are trying to defend yourself also, you try to bite them, or else in any kind of sexual assault cases also we can see the we can come across the bite marks. So in those situations forensic odontology is used. And then is forensic serology. So, forensic serology means it is a scientific analysis of various bodily fluids. So, what are the bodily fluids which we have? The most important is blood, then semen, then saliva, urine. So, this will help us to identify their presence and origin at the crime scene, which will help us to link with the uh, victims or the suspects. Okay, with the help of blood, as you know, we can get the DNA from it, and um, semen identification in the crime cases such as sexual assault or rape cases, even saliva also and urine too. Okay, these all comes under the forensic serology examination. Then forensic physics, it applies the physical principles. Okay, means it encompasses the areas like ballistics or tool mark examination, footwear and their tire impressions. These all comes under the forensic physics. Then ballistics. Ballistics is the application of science to the ballistics to analyze the firearm evidences found at the crime scene. So we can also identify the weapon used, and is also helpful for the reconstructing the events of the shooting. If there is any kind of shoot kind of crime scene have been observed. Okay. We can also know about the projectile of the bullet. Okay, then forensic psychology. Psychology is a specialized field within the psychology which will help us to uh, know the criminal behavior and victimology. It is also assessing involves assessing individuals involved in legal proceedings, providing the expert testimony. Okay, then forensic biotechnology. It is used for the biotechnological methods and tools for the forensic analysis like DNA sequencing and PCR. That will come under forensic biotechnology. Then forensic engineering. So this is a different kind of forensic. See, forensic engineering means which applies the engineering principles to investigate failures in materials or designs or construction. It can also identify what is the root cause of the accidents, failures, and other incidents also. That is comes under the forensic engineering. Then forensic entomology. It is the scientific study of insects. See, sometimes insects can tell us the time of death. Okay, it can determine the post-mortem interval, that is the time since death, by examining the insect species, their development stages, their life cycle on the corpse, on the human skeleton remains or like that. Okay, so forensic entomology is also a unique kind of branch in the forensic science which will help us to know the time since death. Then forensic geology, which applies the earth sciences principle when the legal investigations, like analysis of the soil materials or minerals or glasses. That will come all under the forensic geology. It will also include the techniques for the soil analysis, mineral identification, and also like dust, metals, and fossils. Okay, that all comes under the forensic geology. So this is the scope of forensic science, and these are the different kind of branches which have under the forensic science, and I have just given the brief information like what is what. Okay, so yeah, that's all for today. Fathers in forensic science and scope of forensic science. Hope if you like the video, please like and subscribe and share it with your forensic science friends. Thank you.